What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and today we're going to be talking about more Call of Duty Advanced Warfare stuff, I guess you could say. Guys, we are 2 weeks away from this game, exactly 2 weeks away from the launch date, less than 2 weeks away if you've pre-ordered and are going to be on day 0 bonus, which I think pretty much all of us are. But anyway, in today's video, I wanted to check out a class setup made by Greg Reisdorf, who's the lead multiplayer designer for Advanced Warfare. This actually comes from a GameStop video, which I'll link down in the description. But it was really kind of an interesting class setup, not something that I would normally put together, but after seeing the video, I really kind of appreciate it, and it looks pretty good, pretty fun to use. It kind of challenges you to think outside of the box and really get creative with the Pick 13 system, because that's what it's there for. So anyway, starting off, he chooses the EM1 as his primary weapon. So this thing is under a new class of weapons in Advanced Warfare called heavy weapons that all kind of greatly, vary differently from each other. And the EM1 is actually a directed energy weapon, so it shoots a beam of laser damage at your enemies, which is really kind of cool. You guys actually saw some gameplay on my channel when I went to that reveal event of the game. So it's a pretty unique weapon. I like it to an extent. I think that the EM1 is a little bit, weaker compared to, assault rifles and stuff, especially at longer ranges. But you never have to reload and you never run out of ammo. So that's kind of like the trade-off there. And then also, it will overheat. So you don't have to reload, but if you use it too much and you kind of spam it, then it will overheat and you can't use it for, 5 seconds or whatever it is. So you got to watch out for that. But yeah, EM1, it's fun to use. I don't think it's going to be the best weapon in the game, but it's definitely a unique one that you can use mixed up. So anyway, he chooses to put the foregrip on this thing, which I totally agree with. Like I said, it's a little bit weaker, so you want to always make sure you're staying accurate. You don't want to kick off of enemies and start missing them with this thing, because they're going to turn, they're going to shoot you, they're going to kill you. So you always want to make sure you get as much of that laser on them as possible, so the foregrip's going to help out with the recoil there. Then he chooses to go with flak jackets. So he said that this class was intended to be used in the mode Momentum, which is a new mode in Advanced Warfare. It's actually a remake of War from Call of Duty World at War, and basically it's where two teams will fight over set points on a map, but there's only 1 point active at a time. So everybody is rushing to one spot on the map, and that spot is always complete and utter chaos. So he uses flak jacket to be able to avoid explosives, when he's capping the flags and things like that. Next up, he moves on to take a wild card called Tactician, which allows you to take an extra EXO ability in place of your EXO launcher. So now he's going to be able to select 2 EXO abilities, and he goes with EXO Trophy System. So obviously that's smart. That's going to help him out with, again, incoming projectiles, grenades, that kind of stuff. Next up, he goes with EXO Hover, and this allows you to hover in place for a short amount of time. So that's kind of cool. That's going to be like when his trophy system runs out and it's still, kind of chaos, everybody's rushing in, he can hover up above the flag, which is going to protect him from explosives. I doubt you can still cap the flag up in the air. I'll have to test that out when the game comes out. But it's just going to give him a slight advantage. It's something the enemies just aren't really going to expect to be happening. Somebody to be floating above the flag they're capping. And then, he can drop down and EXO slam him or shoot him or, do whatever he wants to do. So that's kind of a cool little strategy that he has there with the EXO hover. Now, next up, he's going to go back, he's going to use another wild card to get his first perk, and he's going to choose Overcharged, which extends your EXO ability battery life. So this is pretty important. Obviously, if he's going to be using these EXO abilities of the trophy system when he's capping flags, of the hover ability when, it gets kind of chaotic and he just wants to get out of there, he's going to want a lot of that stuff. So the Overcharged perk is going to allow him to be able to use those EXO abilities for longer, which is obviously pretty useful. Next up, he's going to choose his first perk 2, and he's going to go with Fast Hands. So this allows him to reload while sprinting, swap weapons, and use EXO abilities and the EXO launcher faster. So obviously, he's choosing this to be able to use his abilities faster. He wants to be able to activate that trophy system as fast as he can, in case grenades come flying in, or when he's ready to get up in the air and start hovering, he's going to be able to do that very, very quickly with the addition of this perk. So that's pretty smart there. Then he's going to choose another wild card. He's going to use that to get a second perk 2, with which he's going to go with Peripherals, which increases the minimap coverage and it allows him to take out enemies without displaying death icons. So this is for when he's on the flag, he wants to be able to see a little bit more of that minimap, see exactly where the enemies are coming from, if stuff's getting too crazy, if he needs to get out of there, that kind of thing. It just gives him a little bit more, field of view on that minimap. Next up, he's going to add a second attachment to his primary weapon. It's the Tracker Sight. So this actually causes it so that when you wound an enemy, it will make them show up on your minimap. Now, I'm not sure if this makes them show up on your teammates' minimaps as well, But I'm going to have to test that out when the game actually comes out. So we'll have to wait and see about that. And then finally, he's got 1 point left in his pick 13 system. So he's going to go with the score streak. He's going to choose the remote turret. And then he's going to apply the rockets as well as the sentry attributes or the modules to it so that it shoots rockets as well as it acts on its own. So he doesn't have to physically control it. So he can just kind of place it down on that flag that he's capturing. It'll be kind of like another man helping cover him and allow him to kind of do his thing while the score streak's helping him out. So, yeah, there you guys have it. That, my friends, is Greg Reisdorf's multiplayer class setup for Momentum. I don't know, I found it a little bit different. Like, typically, I'm somebody that focuses mainly on my weapons, my perks, and my score streaks. But this entire class was pretty much based around his exo abilities. That was going to be like the main, kind of like strategy that he was using. And it's just a little bit different of a way to set up a class setup, but it does look like it would be pretty fun, and it would be pretty effective, to be honest. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this class setup. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will catch you all later. Check out one of the YouTube screens. Seen yet? Peace out, guys.